Yes, sir.
So this is our land. Based on the priority, they won't select which one is active, which one is the standby because priority is matched. If priority is matched, then they will move to the highest IP address, physical IP address. This is the interfaces, whichever will configure based on the IP address, it will be collected as the highest IP address. That one is the active router. In lab, we'll discuss, we'll check. So how it will be elect. So one is active, one is standby router. But what is preemption? Now, preemption means once both ends having the priority same with matching. So this LAN network is goes down. So this router will active state and this one is the standby state. If preemption is disabled, this router is don't know because priority is not decreasing here. So their LAN network, whenever it goes down, whenever the preemption is disabled, this router will not become as an active router. I'll show you in lab. So we should how to enable the preemption. Then only the router knows the standby router will become knows the my active router is goes down. So that is one. By default, preemption is disabled if active router highest priority is down. And again, so see here you can check the it will be went down again. It will be came back to up. That time this router cannot take back a rollback. This will again it will be still that router will be standby state only. Once the priority, so here you can assume now. First scenario is this is active router and this one is the standby router. Now what happened? Some reasons this connectivity or this router, something happened with this router is goes down. Now, now this will become as a standby and this will become as a active. Because here the election criteria it will be happen, it will be sent, it will tell 10 seconds, it will be wait. It's hold down timer. Okay, the election will be happen again. This will be came back as a active router and this one is a standby router. Whatever. Again, once the engineer went on and whatever the connectivity issue or router issue he find out, then the router will become came to back up. So now in this scenario this router will not come back to active router because here we are using this is the 100 mbps link and you can assume this is the 10 mbps link, this is the 100 mb. So must we need a must because speed is more here, bandwidth is more compared to this bandwidth. So preemption is disabled. This router R2 will don't know the R1 is came back or not back. So that is the reason we should have to enable the preemption because preemption means whenever the active router is went down, standby will become the active. But after some times, active came back to up, but it won't take the rollback because of preemption is disabled. It won't came back to active. Still, it will be wait on standby only. If the standby again goes down, then it will be come back to active. Yes. If this standby is goes down, again it will be come back to active based on the timers because preemption is disabled. So make sure preemption is enabled. Now, new devices, whichever the new IO is, the preemption is enabled nowadays. The preemption should be configured to be active router. So in this preemption is by default on. In this VRRP preemption is by default on. If active router is down and up again, it will automatically become a master router. So here it will be automatically become as a master router. But in this by default the preemption is disabled. If active router highest priority is down and up again, it is down again, it will be came back. preemption should be configured to be a active router. So it won't take the rollback. If you can enable that time only, it will be active. So by default, preemption is disabled in the source. Same thing. So they will use some multicast IP address. This is all. So based on the multicast IP address, they will send the L2 level. L2 level means the data link layer updates. These are the MAC addresses. So here you can say 00.0 CR07 C 07 R7, and these are the MAC address of GLBP. So it will be worked based on the, this is a group number actually. This is a group number ACXX, and this is our group numbers. So based on the group numbers, it will be work. I'll show you how it will be changed. Whichever the group number, I'll show you in that. So IPv4 support, yes, it will be support, it will be not support, and it will be support. Only Cisco proprietary support IPv6, and they will not support. If you have any questions, then we'll discuss. Otherwise, we'll start the lab. So make sure you should have to know the how to configure a configuration will be happen on how we'll troubleshoot the if the standby, how we'll check the standby router, how we'll check those routers. I'll show you on that lab. So some troubleshooting things I'll show you. So here I'm taking three routers. It's ISP router. This one is your ISP router. Only I'm taking one ISP. So here I'll take two routers, and this one is our active or standby. We'll discuss later. One R1 router and R2 router, and here I'll take one switch because it's access switch. We cannot give directly host to our end users. Host to the switch routers we cannot give directly. Like means what I mean to say, directly we cannot connect to end users and router because router having LS ports. So I'll take a IP scheme here. What is virtual? Actually, here we'll use virtual gateway, not a physical gateways. Earlier we used physical gateways, but here we have to use virtual gateway. That is what how we'll achieve the redundancy through based on the gateways only. What is gateway basically? 10.10 I'll take the IP address, and here I'll take the IP address 192.168.10.20, and this one is the 10.192.168.10.30, and I'll use 192.168.10.40 IP address. And this is the IP address. I'll take the 192.168.10 dot. Here I'll take IP address is 1/24, and here I'll take the for these physical interfaces. I'm taking 192.168.10 dot two IP address for this same subnet I am taking here, and here I'll take the WAN interfaces. Up to here LAN interfaces, I'll take here 11.1.1.1 IP address /24, and here I'll take this interface IP address is 11.1.1.2 IP address, and here I'll take IP address 12.1.1.1/24, and this one is the 12.1.1.2 IP address /24. So WAN interfaces /2 dot slash 11.1.1.2. That two I have taken here, and that one is WAN our edge routers. So good. Now we'll configure. First we'll configure the ISP router. Again, I'll take here one loopback IP address. This is kind of Your loopback IP address is our Google IP address. You can assume Google IP address is 8.8
Alim,
dot
I
8
have
dot.
one question. Sorry.
Yes,
What is this 11.1.1 and 12.1.1.2?
you have the connectivities. Make sure
Okay.
this is the IP address through only we can reachability we can give. These are WAN interfaces. So for this for fast Ethernet 0 by 0 IP address, how to give 11.1.1.1 and fast Ethernet 0 by 1. This is our ISP router, and in this ISP router, I'll take a IP address of fast Ethernet 0 by 0. This is IP address, and fast Ethernet 0 by 1. This is IP address.
But I think IP addresses start with 192.168, right?
So wait,
Usually,
okay, guys. Okay, here the configuration of 11.1.1.1. Don't confuse. So if I am taking here /24, just go through the subnetting, then you can easily understand. So yes, we can use the subnet likewise also. In the subnet means mostly up to we can use only 224 IP addresses. Sorry, 254 IP addresses only. 254 IP addresses only. So go through the subnetting concept. Fine. Now will configuration part. First, I'll configure the IP address, ISP router. So no here. So enable. So config T and host name I'll take here ISP. Just I'll change the host name. You can verify here ISP. And if I want to give the IP address interface fast Ethernet 0 by 0, and I have entered the interface of 0 by 0 fast Ethernet 0 by 0, then I'll give the IP address of this. IP address is 11.1.1.1. Sorry, 2 for ISP router and 1 is for LAN routers. So 255 dot subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. It means it's a /24 value and no shutdown. Make sure it's a router. It's no issue. And interface first Ethernet 0 by 1 and give the IP address is here 192.16. No. 12.1.1.2 and subnet mask 255.255.255.0 and use no shutdown. I have given the IP configuration. So save the configuration. Don't if you are not saving, then if you are not using this command, it won't save the configuration. Once you reload the router, then the entire configuration will be gone. So I'll configure the router one now, no, and enable. First WAN interface will run here, configure. So interface first Ethernet 0 by 0 is a WAN interface and the address is here 11.1.255.255.255.0 and no shutdown. And exit from here and interface fast Ethernet 0 by 1 IP address is here. IP address is 192.168. It's LAN interface 1.1 and 255.255.255.0 is subnet address and use no shutdown. Done. So just I have configuring the IP addresses on the interfaces. So make sure we haven't reachability the benefit. So config the and interface fast Ethernet 0 by 0. It's WAN interface and IP address for that 12.1.1.1 and 255.255.255.0 and use no shutdown command and exit from here and interface fast Ethernet 0 by 1. It's a LAN interface. This is the interface of it and IP address for that 192.168.10.2 because one I have taken here. If you are using same IP address here also, it will overlap. I'll show you that. It will overlap. Use no shutdown. So once the reachability entire thing will be happen, it will be give the error IP configuration of this interface of MAC address. The IP address already is there. It will be overlap. So once spanning tree entire thing will be done properly, then It will be not LAN will be not support. So spanning tree or the problem set. It will be overlap 10.1. So same. So don't give likewise IP addresses. It will be overlapped. Here it is not showing the error. So once we'll make it as a reachability something, then only it will be shown. So IP interface brief. So here. So we'll give the IP address of these 192.168.10.1 to 10 and 192.168.10.1 IP address, and try to ping the gateway ping 192.168. Try to ping the gateway 192.168. What is gateway? Exit or entry point of our LAN network. Yes, we can able to reach. So it here it is not showing the overlapping. Sometimes it will happen, sometimes it won't happen because it's a packet pressure. So running configuration we will verify. So so mostly don't give likewise. So running configuration in real times also it won't happen likewise. Something I am planning to show, but it is not showing here. It will be give the error or overlapping. So how will remove the IP address? So I config the interface path Ethernet 0 by 1 and no IP address is 192.168.10.1 and give the subnet mask. Just use no command instead of it. So give the IP address now again 192.168.10.2 subnet mask and one is our subnet mask, two IP address for this interface and one IP address for this interface. No, yes, no, I haven't given the configuration of loopback interface, 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 loopback 8.8.8.8 and subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Sorry, loopback 8. It's a virtual interface. Actually, loopback it means it's a virtual interface. And IP address for that loopback interface 8.8.8.8 and 255.255.255.0. And no need to use no shutdown, and you can check show IP route with this command. You can verify the IP routings. Okay, these are the directly connected interfaces. Just I have configured. We can verify show IP interface brief through this command. So yes, try to ping from here 8.8.8 ping 8.8.8.8. So we cannot able to reach from here also because we don't have routing information of this. So we'll use by default routing because we haven't discussed the routing concept. So I'll use the default routing as we discussed earlier. Whenever we don't know the destination IP address, that time we'll use default route. So let's assume we don't know the destination IP address. So that time we'll use 0.0.0 and 0.0.0.0 and next hop IP address is 11.1.10. So just give the same command at here, but next hop IP address is different. 150 and IP route 0.0.0.0 and 0.0.0.0 and tomorrow onwards we'll discuss the routing 11.1.1.2. So have configured and for here also we have to give the same command, then only we can able to reach our LAN networks. Config T and IP route 0.0.0. Don't confuse why I am giving. Tomorrow onwards we'll discuss the routing concept. 11.1.1.1.1, and here I have one more route. I'll give to IP route because I need to reach in LAN networks. These are the LAN networks. So I want to reach from here to here. So I should have to give the default gate. So that is what I did. So now you can ping 8.8.8, 192.168.10.1. As we can able to reach our gateway and try to ping the 11.1.1.1.1 IP address of WAN interface of this interface. So IP route. I haven't configured anything in switch. Don't confuse. So running configuration. So it's kind of layer 2 device. No need to give the configuration also. It will work based on the L2 MAC address. By default, switches use the MAC address table. So MAC address table. Based on the MAC address table, they'll send the packets. So here you can check ping 192.168.10.10. If I'm not wrong, yes, we can able to reach from here, but we cannot able to reach from here because so what happened? The gateways are two here, so it is confusing. So that is what we have to consider the HSRP. Before that, what is HSRP? How we'll configure it? I'll show you. So here IP config. So here default gateway from. So that is the reason also. So here this is the troubleshooting process. So here you can check the default gateway is different. So just move to here and give that one and try to ping from here the destination IP address. That is what ping 192.168.10.1 is default gateway. You can able to reach this and ping 11.1.1.1. Yes, we can able to reach this interface and two also we definitely we can able to reach. Yes, we can able to reach up to here the interface of this interface. Yes, we can able to reach and ping the gate Google IP address of 8.8.8.8 ping 8.8.8.8. So this is what yes we can able to reach and how trace it TRACRT TSF 8.8.8.8. So through our default gateway, which default gateway? This is the interface of default gateway. Through this default gateway, we can able to reach. Through this default gateway, we can able to reach. If I'll configure same default gateway, it will be overlap the IP address. If I'll configure the same IP address of this same thing, it will be overlap. So I'll give the here the default gateway of this one is 192.168.10.20 IP address, and here default gateway is 192.168.10.2 IP address. Default gateway is changing hand here. So this is what if why I am changing if this interface is shut down. So config the interface fast Ethernet 0 by 1. Now we can check it's a shutdown state. Some issues came, so the physical issue, though the interfaces goes down, so we cannot able to reach the router because we have a two routers, but one router I am giving the interface of this virtual gateway. Now try to ping 8.8.8, no communication because interface is down. You can check here the interface is down. So if the traffic is moving likewise, if interface is goes down, so the default gateway is here this one. The default gateway is 1.1. This is the default gateway. This interface goes down means no communication. So in this case, I'll use IP address is here 190. The default gateway for this PC. I use this interface. This interface. So now try to ping 192.168.10. I'll try to ping the direct Google IP address 198.8.8. So the communication is happened through this part. So communication happen through this path because the interface is goes down. We have given the default gateways this one two. That is the reason communication is happen. If this also goes down means some issue came. So some because at a time I want to achieve the traffic. If this one is the active router, if active is goes down, then also issue. The standby will don't become as active. If I will configure this is an active router, no shutdown I will use because earlier it was a active router. If I haven't configured anything in the HSRP configuration, still I am discussing because this is what. So this one is the active router, but interfaces goes down. I have given the physical ID interfaces. So instead of the physical interfaces, we should have to give the virtual interface. The virtual interface means it won't have any IP addresses. It's a virtual interface actually. It's a virtual gateway actually. We gateway. Virtual gateway I have to give. It's a virtual gateway. So how it will be? I will give 192.168.10.5. Anything you can give the IP address in between the switches only. Make sure you have to give the same IP address. So why I am giving? If this interface goes down, again came back. So virtual interfaces always down or up. But virtual gateways won't. It will be virtually we are configuring. It won't go down and it won't come back. It will be not go back. It will be no not shutdown state. That is what. So now configure the HSRP configuration I am doing now. Exit and interface fast Ethernet 0 by 1 and LAN interface. Make sure LAN interfaces we configure as a interface level HSRP configuration. Standby and take a it's a group number. So virtual MAC address will be happen in this group only up to 4096. This many groups you can create and I'm creating 10 and give the IP address for the which IP address virtual gate and give the IP address for one for the gateway 192.168.10.5 and likewise this is the configuration. If you want to change some priority something standby and 10 in this group only and priority by default priority is 100 and I'll show you which one is the active. Only one line configuration ID. One line configuration. I have enabled the HRP interface, fast Ethernet 0 by 1 and IP standby and make sure group number is same and IP address is same. Here also default gateway is 192.168.10.5 and it will be elected which one is the standby, which one is active based on the IP addresses will be elect because so standby. So still they are speaking state. So this router will elected as a standby router and this router is elected as a active router because highest IP address. So priority is same. So standby. So standby. You can check here the whichever the virtual given IP address I have given, that is the virtual IP address, and here you can check the priority is the by default priority is 100. By default priority is 100. So this is what. So one line command and guys, this is the configuration and wait.